David Webb joins me now. Great to see you, David. Is she right? Is it too late for Biden's campaign?
You know what? I'm not going to say it is for a different reason than what she would present there, which is fear and loathing, right? It's the fate of the republic. It's Donald Trump. It's fear. What they're really talking about is their power, number one. Democrats want to retain power, and whether Biden can be that person. Biden's addled, clearly. He's incapable of running a full campaign or a presidency. But what the real concern is, if he steps out, how do they win with a Gavin Newsom, who, while he may be from central casting, at least doesn't have the political chops of a Biden or the political history? That's the real fear. Another fear, and I'll tell you what, the Republicans should be careful. Don't start ringing the victory bell and measuring the drapes in the White House yet, because Democrats have a vote-getting strategy. One of them happens on January 1, the increase in pay to federal workers. You look at the union strategy, the UAW aligning with the Squad on Israel. You look at all of these left groups, United Farm Workers, you look at the SEIU, you look at the vote multiplier factor for the Democrats. So my warning to Republicans, Ashley, is don't measure the drapes, because it's not about Biden. It's about Democrats' vote-getting strategy and then beating Republicans.
Yeah, you make a good point, David. I want to move on to this one we've been talking about this morning. Maine's Secretary of State's barring former President Trump from their 2024 primary ballot. You know, look, it's a stunt. He hasn't been convicted of anything, but it's a slippery slope. I wouldn't be surprised to see other states follow. But I guess my question to you, David, is, do you think Donald Trump gets a bump from this? It's another example of the deep state trying to do away with democracy and take him off the ballot.
Yeah, look, clearly Trump has shown that he gets a surge, a bump, if you will, and it's been consistent because of this. The question is how far it reaches. This, much like Jennifer Palmieri's statement by the Secretary of State in Maine, is a political play which is unconstitutional by anyone, including her, an elector for Biden in 2020, who should have read in Section 3, electors of president and vice president. You know, that's someone who could be barred if they committed themselves to an insurrection, which Trump has neither been charged with or convicted of. Fact is, there is no charge of insurrection possible, or they would have used it already, whether January 6th or forward. And on top of that, you know, within this article, the president's not covered. He was not an elected member of Congress. He was not an officer of the United States. So they know this. This is about keeping the fight alive, the fear and loathing, dividing Americans, trying to say that if Donald Trump gets elected, he will be an autocrat, a dictator. It will be the rise of white supremacy and the downing of America, when in fact America is exactly the opposite of that.
Very quickly, I've literally got 30 seconds, David. Iowa just round the corner. What do you think comes out of Iowa? What are we going to learn?
If the polls track, Donald Trump wins Iowa. Second might be Nikki Haley. DeSantis is going door to door. But when they get to New Hampshire and people cast votes, I prefer primaries over caucuses, then we'll see a lot more shakeout. I think those first two will tell us something together.
Succinct, to the point, brings his A game every time. David Webb, thank you so much. Great to see you, David, and Happy New Year to you.